afternoon, chemistry students. This is Mrs. Rains. I'm coming to you in my home, so sorry if there's a little noise. I'm trying to do it. That's why I'm using the headphones, as you can see in the video below. Today we're going to be talking about the lab safety equipment that we actually scavenged for on Friday. So here we go. So cleaning supplies. There are plenty of cleaning supplies always in the lab. I always have paper towels that I can replenish. I always have items. So there's plenty of soap at each station. There's Goggle sanitizer. There are brushes, test tube brushes, and sponges. There's a dustpan to clean things up with. So all of that's always available to you. We use this for cleaning. I'm going to turn myself off here. We use this for cleaning the tabletop, washing your hands, cleaning the equipment. All of that stuff is to be used. We have floor brooms and table brushes and dustpans to help clean up any spills. The table brushes are right here in your area. You can see the picture of it, so you know where that is. I'll show you where the other brooms and things are in a minute. Okay, you want to keep your lab area neat and clean. So glassware, it gets disposed of in the broken glass box. This is one of two. This is the one between the fume hoods and where the safety shower is. So make sure you know where both are. Goggles and goggle sanitizer, pretty simple. This is the goggle sanitizer right here, and these are the goggles. Notice how the face of the goggle fits flat against the flat part. That's so that that thing doesn't get broken or cracked. So everyone must wear these, and always use goggle sanitizer, but only use one squirt. If you use more than one, your eyes are going to be stinging because of the Windex and not because you're trying to get them clean. So make sure that you do that. Okay, goggles. These are vents on the goggles. The top of the goggles, those little black things, are vents. If you pop them out, it's not safe anymore because you can have stuff get into your eyes. So what you do is you just pop them up. You just lift them up, and that will allow for more venting if you're getting hot. I used to get hot when I was in high school, and my goggles were always fogging, so I had to have the vents on, and if I sometimes got too foggy, I would walk away from the lab and go near the door area and take them off for a moment. Okay, there are the adjustable straps on the goggles. You can adjust them to fit your head. Be careful not to stretch them too far, though. Eyewash Station. You've learned how to use this. Eyewash Station is located in the back of the lab. There are two of them. You're going to need to provide assistance if someone needs to do this. So this is the handle that you use to turn the water on. The water will come out of these two spouts right here, and you should be flushing your eyes for 15 or 20 minutes. If you have contacts, flush first, then we'll take the contacts out, and then we'll flush some more. But we want to get the chemical off the eyes as soon as possible. Safety shower. Remember, you're going to be required to move any clothing soaked in chemical. Modesty is of no importance at this point. If you were unsafe and you got something on you, then modesty is out the door. We'll pull this handle down to activate the shower, and it will stay activated until we push that handle back up. Lots of cold water will come out the top of the spigot to rinse the chemicals off of you. I obviously will hear it go on if you need to use it. Everyone should be leaving the classroom or the lab room if that's the case. Fire extinguishers, there are two of them. This is the picture of both of them, and you should know their locations now. So to use a fire extinguisher, everybody needs to be trained. You'll see in some videos it says let the teacher do it. One of the videos that I may post says that. But you know what? I'm not always right there, and if you're close to a small fire, it's better that you know how to use that as well. So you pull the pin on the top of the fire extinguisher. You see that right there. You aim at the base of the fire. The base would be down here, but in this bucket, the base is right here where it's getting oxygen at. Stand 8 to 10 feet back, squeeze the lever, and sweep side to side across the fire. Learn to operate the fire extinguisher before it's needed, and remember to pass. Okay, so pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the discharge lever, sweep to side, and remember the simple word pass if you want to know how to use the extinguisher. Okay, fire blankets. Fire blankets are to be used on people or fires that can be controlled easily by smothering, things that have oil in them, stuff like that that can't be put out easily with water or a chemical. Okay, so the fire blanket, when a person catches on fire, this is the main go-to. The person who's on fire should stop, drop, and roll while a partner retrieves the blanket from the wall and helps to make sure that the fire is completely out. To pull the blanket out, you pull down on the bottom of this, and then you retrieve the blanket. There are little straps in there. Pretty easy to get out. Fume hoods. So we have 3 fume hoods in our classroom. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the pole was in the way of the 3rd one. So how do they work? It's really simple. They pull smelly things out of the air, dangerous smelly fumes. So to activate them, you just simply turn that switch. So that switch will turn on the light and the fan for the fume hoods. Each one is separated or is functioning independently. So make sure if you're using 1 or more of them, you turn them on. The emergency gas shutoff is next to the light switch near the other classroom. It is keyed, as you can see. I have a key. I'm going to get a copy so that we can put it in there on lab days, but I'm going to have to take it out when we're not in lab. So the emergency valve is controlled by a key. Okay, and it shuts off all electrical, gas, and water at student lab tables. So when it's not on, you have nothing at your lab tables. Okay. Chemical storeroom. The chemical storeroom, right now it's open because we're having a little trouble with the HVAC. There's not very much ventilation in there, and so to keep it cool and to keep it warm, we've got to keep it open. But students are not allowed in there at any time. Okay. This is where the chemicals are kept, and your chemicals will always be available to you in the lab area. When you become part of my AP class, I train you a little differently, and you still are going to have chemicals available in the lab area, but sometimes you get to venture in there and help me with a few things. But in your class, you will never go into the chemical storeroom. Never, ever. Okay, how will you clean up spills and broken items? Well, first of all, if they're at your tabletop, you're going to use the table brush right there with the dustpan. So broken glass can be cleaned up with that. All of those things can be done. The other one that we have in one of the closets, we have obviously a mop. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me go back. A mop, a broom, and a dustpan. You can see all of them here. There is the broom, there is the mop, there's the mop, there's the dustpan, there's the broom. I'm sorry. So if they're larger items, if they're on the floor and it's easier to get them up with those, we will go retrieve those. So make sure you're paying attention and proceeding with caution all the time in the lab. Every single time in the lab that you need to make sure you do that. Okay, so this is the end of our lab safety equipment. We've talked about lab equipment. We've talked about lab safety equipment. So now you just need to make sure that you're being as safe as you possibly can in the lab at all times. Okay? Thank you very much.